What's up, Bulls fans? This is the Bahamas Bowl, day 3. Welcome back as we try to walk you through what the Bulls are experiencing, what we're experiencing here on another beautiful day in the Bahamas. We went to practice, and afterwards we were able to catch up with former player and now grad assistant with the wide receivers and on the offensive side, Robbie Mangus. Of course, he's a name you've heard if you listened to the radio broadcast at all, a bunch. He had a great year with the Bulls at tight end. Then his brother came along and was the offensive coordinator for a season and now has gone on and is doing great things with the Bills and Josh Allen. But we still have the big one, Robbie Mangus, the tight end, and he's done a great job this year with the wide receivers. So it was fun to get a chance to get on the bus coming back from practice between the practice field and Atlantis and be able to catch up with him and see how his transition has gone from being a player on the Bulls to coaching the Bulls to his first experience here in the Bahamas. So let's do it. Let's get on the bus with Robbie Mangus.
Coverage of the Bahamas Bowl is presented by Bezroy Roofing and Siding, the official home remodeling partner of UB Athletics. Family owned and operated by UB alumni and former student athletes, offering roofing, siding, windows, deck, and doors. Visit them at bezroyroofing.com. That's BESROI roofing.com.
Today's coverage of the Bahamas Bowl is brought to you by Crossbar Athletics. Coaches, simplify your season with Crossbar. Uniforms and team stores made easy. Visit crossbarathletics.com.
Well, we've been spending a lot of time on buses bopping around the Bahamas, so we figured why not do part of the podcast on one of the buses with someone from the UB football program. We've got Scott Wilson, we've got Brad Ryder, and we've got Robbie Mangus with us as well, too. Guys, you got the back seat of the bus there. Is that a good spot, or the roads are a little bumpy, aren't they?
Oh, it's insane. I don't recommend if you're trying to edit audio. I know not everybody listening is an audio editor, but at times I am. If you're trying to edit audio on a laptop computer, don't do it while riding the backseat of a bus in the Bahamas. They ride in it's the opposite lane. It's very bumpy. The streets are tight, and the drivers are maniacs. So not a great place to edit audio. Anything that came out a little glitchy, a little weird, I apologize for that.
Yeah, free ride, though.
It's great. It's free ride. It's a great place to hang
out. It's a Disney park attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
Scott, we've got a bus history with Robbie Mangus, don't we?
Oh yeah, we've been on several.
No, but even the video games, and then you eavesdropped on our trivia one day, right, Robbie?
Yeah.
Like you have been unfortunately stuck on buses with us more than a few times, right? Yeah. But you were the one playing the video games on one of the road trips. Was that you? That was you, right?
Yeah, he had a whole setup there.
Yeah, you had the whole setup.
Dartmouth days.
Yep. So that was an Ivy League trick.
So that was just an idea I came up with because in the Ivy League there is no flying to anything, so you bust to everything, and Dartmouth to Penn is about 7 or 8 hours. So I had 7 or 8 hours in the middle of the day. I did my homework. I was like,
So if I remember correctly, at the time you had NCAA 14.
I did.
Going on the bus. We were all very jealous. Have you updated? Are you on the new game, the 25?
No, I've been watching some of the players play it, but I haven't gotten a PS5, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Haven't found the time.
Right.
I'm 50 years old and I bought a PS5 because the college football game is coming out. I've been waiting 10 years for that game to come back, and it did, and I bought it. I did it, and I love it. I mean, like the year 2041 at this point. The Bulls are good. Bulls are real good.
Yeah, UB is excellent.
Oh, yeah?
In my dynasty. Oh, they're real good. Real good.
That's great.
So one of the other times you got stuck on a bus with us, we killed 3 hours doing mindless sports trivia, and I know you were listening to about half of it because you chime in, I believe, with a couple of NBA guesses at one point, right?
Yeah.
Did we annoy you with that, or did you actually learn something from any of it?
I was amazed by how much sports knowledge y'all had. I mean, we were going back to like 70s baseball, and then 5 minutes later.
We're old in general here.
Right. It was like 70s baseball, and 10 minutes later, all of a sudden we're talking about the 2000 All-Star game in basketball or something, and I was just like, man, these guys know a lot of ball. It's not just football.
We're all about versatility.
And we're nerds. We're sports nerds.
That's all it is.
Right.
Love it.
What do you make of this trip so far? Have you been here before?
I have not. No. This has been awesome. I'm excited to get to the beach bash and see the ocean, but it's I mean, the weather's great. There's still so much of the resort I haven't seen, but
And there's a lot to see, so make sure you get out. So last year you were a tight end on the team, right? This year you have transitioned onto the coaching staff. Tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing and what your role is on the coaching staff this year.
yeah. So I'm working with the wide receivers primarily. My title is skill GA, so I work with the running backs and tight ends as well. But from a day-to-day standpoint, I'm mostly working with Coach Haynes just by numbers. There's, I want to say 7 or 8 running backs. There's 6 or 7 tight ends, but then there's 18 wide receivers. So there's just, it's a big group. That would be a lot for one coach to handle. So
Gotta have an extra wrangler out there for all the
try to split up individual drills so that guys can get the same amount of work without having to sit in line for so long. But then on a game day, Coach Wickham, our tight ends coach, is up in the box. So I'll help, just having tight end experience and having played for Coach Wickham, I have a sense for what he wants. Coaching points, and now with the iPads on the sideline, I can watch the tape with the tight ends right then and there, and so I'm a little bit more with the tight ends on game day.
Is coaching something that you intended and wanted to do, or did this just come about? And not to insult you, I feel like all your really smart buddies at Dartmouth probably make fun of you for taking a football coaching job at this point, when there probably could be a lot of other really cool things you're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
doesn't get any cooler than this,
going
Paul.
to the Bahamas for football is pretty cool.
I'll give you that.
But
I'll give you that.
no doubt. I mean, I definitely have buddies that are doing some really big-time things, whether in New York City, San Francisco. They're all over the country. Some of them are traveling abroad and things like that. But nothing brings us together like football, So Tuesday Maction, they're texting me in the morning. They're like, "Oh, I can't wait to get off work to watch some Maction, man. I'm excited to watch the Bulls." But as far as approaching coaching, I've always kind of been around it. My brother's 11 years older than me. Obviously, he was on the UB staff last year. So
Is he doing anything now?
he's doing all right for himself.
I see him on
They're
TV
going to
a
let him
lot.
sit. That's the question. They ever going to let DJ sit? Because if you watch a Bills game, DJ is one of the offensive assistants for Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator. He's always standing right behind Joe Brady when they take that coaching booth shot, and he's always standing.
I always say he's always the whispering guy, right? Oh, he's whispering the secrets into his ear. He's always there on the
He's
the
locked
broadcast.
in watching the defenses. So yeah, he's definitely staying busy. South in Buffalo, but excited to see. The season they've had has been phenomenal, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
There's more to come. I think there's more to come there.
I tell you what, you put a Josh Allen on any team. It is nice to coach a guy like that. That's for sure. Talking to him about the, when he does some improvisation and figures a play out, I was like, "Is that how you drew it up?" And he's like, "Not exactly, but it's nice to have him." But so watching him.
Yeah. We're not in the middle of a Jason Bourne movie, in case you're wondering. That's just the police escort that we have.
So watching him, I mean, he's 11 years older than me, so he started coaching around when I was around 22, 23 years old. So I'm, 11, 12 years old. I'm in middle school. I've been watching him coach for half my life. And then my dad was my youth football coach and my youth basketball coach, and my sister's youth basketball coaches. My sister coaches lacrosse. My cousins coach lacrosse. My other cousin coaches baseball. I think coaching just seems to be something we're very fond of, so it's almost just came a little natural to me.
What's it been like learning and coaching under Pete Lembo and the impact that he's had on this program?
It's been great. What an opportunity to watch somebody build a program from day one, to watch the little things that you might not realize go into a football program. But then from an X's and O's standpoint, I mean, he's obviously a special teams guru. He's a special teams guru, so just being able to learn from him day to day, see how he operates, how he schemes up, all 4 units is really great to just learn and absorb. And then he's got an offensive background, so sometimes he's popping into our room and, "Hey, I got an idea. I saw, such and such do this, or when we were at Lehigh, we loved doing this, and it really was effective against similar defenses. So, and then just to see who he is outside of football too. You know, he's a history buff. You'll learn very quickly something historical. Just, I think just when you make a Jason Bourne reference, I can't remember what movie he just said as we were driving through. He's like, I feel like I'm in this movie that was based off. I want to say it was Tom Clancy. Am I saying that right?
He said
that's clear and present danger.
Clear and present danger.
That's exactly what it was.
That's right.
We made the same reference.
Yeah.
The second this guy walks in, like, I think we'll like him as a coach because we make the same references while riding on buses in Nassau, Bahamas, on the left side of the road with a police escort and sirens that sound backward. This is all insane. How is the coaching part going? Like, do you have the freedom to have ideas and share them with players, or are you executing a plan that's coming from higher above? Are you just trying to relate to guys on a personal level? What is your role?
Yeah, I think as far as how we coach players, that starts when Coach Limbo got here in February. Is here's certain vocabulary that we use to teach players that we would like to hear echoed. You might hear certain coaches say, get into a football position, or what a linebacker looks like before the snap. But
we got a fire truck coming up.
We're not getting out of the way, by the way.
Let's hold off for a second.
Football team coming
This
through.
is real. We got football.
Fire can wait.
So people have different ways of saying all sorts of things in football.
Right.
But so getting on the same page we call that a power position. And when you're moving like that, you're moving in power. So that when I say that to the wide receivers, they're like, oh, I heard that in special teams. I heard Coach Copeland say that to the cornerbacks. So they're hearing the same words from everybody. So I think that's critical. It's just from day one is Coach Limbo's installing, here's how we coach them.
This is our language.
Right. So that whether it's Coach Limbo, the head coach, or it's all the way down the totem pole to me at GA, we're saying the same words, and then it's just built over time. I like to think, you build a level of trust by doing your job at a high level, and they start to hand the reins a little bit more, give me a little bit more to do.
Put a little bit more on your plate as you earn, type of thing.
And Coach Haynes has been awesome as far as, it's not easy to just come into a program and say, hey, you're in your second year coaching, but I want you to be heavily involved in what we do in individual drills and practice, and I want you to have say in what kind of drills we're doing, and if you think there's anything that worked well for you that you might want to bring to the table, absolutely, let's talk about it.
So your offensive side, so I'll ask you this. Has it been as noticeable to you as us? It feels like the offense and CJ Agbana, it's gotten better every single week. From what we saw Agbana last year, very limited role, to what he's become now, it's night and day. It's incredible how you guys have been able to grow the offense, and then also CJ's grown with it as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's a testament to Coach Patino, who he is as a offensive coordinator, as a quarterbacks coach, and it's absolutely a testament to CJ himself, of the amount of time he's dedicated to getting better and then trusting himself. I think you can see as the season has gone, he's trusting himself more and more. He's getting more comfortable in the offense. He understands why we're calling a play, not just, okay, we're calling a play, here's my progression, boom, hit them. It's like, oh, we're calling this because, they're a heavy quarters team, and this is a quarters beater, and this is what they have a tendency to do, and we love this concept. This is Coach Patino's favorite concept, or whatever it else might be. You can just see a lot of confidence building in him as the season has gone, and I think that's a huge reason why our offense has really taken off.
Do you have a favorite play this year? I mean, there's been a bunch of pretty big plays. Do you have one in particular that you're...
For CJ specifically, or just as our offense?
Your favorite play this year?
Two plays come to mind. So the first one is Vic Snow's catch against Northern Illinois.
That's a big one. Yeah, that's a good one.
That completely completely shifted the momentum in that game.
Might have changed the season. I mean, it was
that game
crazy,
really
right.
gave us a lot of confidence. You know, it was a ranked opponent. It was one of the best defenses in the country. And at that point, we were just doing okay. All right, we weren't doing anything phenomenally on offense, but we were hanging in there. And then that was the spark that just kind of opened
Changed
up the
it.
game. And I mean, you couldn't ask for a better kid to do it too. It's just a walk-on, turned scholarship kid that just works his butt off.
Leading receiver.
Leading receiver. I mean, make a movie about it. The Snowman.
The Snowman.
Hey, he said that's one of 2 plays.
The other one, now, this is the wide receiver GA bias coming out in me.
Let's hear it.
Is the other one is JJ's catch against Ball State.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my goodness.
That's a great one too.
I lost my mind when he caught that. I couldn't. I mean, just given your Coach Wickham has said this since I got there. He tells the quarterbacks, let them touch it. Throw the ball where my wide receiver has a chance to touch the ball.
Yeah. And, you know, watching it, that play in particular, it very much felt like CJ just kind of said, JJ's down there somewhere. I'm just going to put it down there.
There's
I
a
feel like
player,
he's
let him
going to
make
make a play. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
JJ is a fellow Ivy League guy. You got a little connection there, and to see the way he has developed and become this dominant receiver over the last month or so of the season, that has to be fun for you because you guys have that shared experience.
Absolutely. And, you know, we get to talk about week to week, you know, who's Columbia got this week, and there's, you know, I got the bragging rights this year. Dartmouth beat them, but, you know, at the same time, Columbia just won their first Ivy League title in what was
first
it,
time in like 50 years.
50 years, something like that. So that's a brand new coaching staff. So that's unbelievable what the work they've done. But to see him, the success he's had, overcoming some adversity, you know, there was a moment, and he'd be the first to admit it, where, you know, he maybe hit a lull when we were early in camp. And then we had a you know, just kind of a conversation about it, and we turned things around. You know, I shouldn't say he turned things around. You could tell he took things to a new level. He had, you know, a little bit of reflection. He said, this is my last year. This is a chance for me to, you know, whatever happens, I hope he gets an opportunity in the NFL, but obviously it's a competitive league to get into. So whether this is his last game in the Bahamas or not, leave it all out there, and I think he's played phenomenally since week 1, and he's grown exponentially.
Yep.
And to fill kind of the shoes that we thought Nick McMillan might fill this year, which I'm excited to get him back next year. That's going to be great. But he really stepped up to the plate there, where we thought, okay, we had some really talented wide receivers in 2023. 4 of them left. We have shoes to fill, and I think JJ stepped up and knocked it out of the park.
Right.
He's been playing great.
Today's coverage of the Bahamas Bowl is brought to you by Crossbar Athletics. Coaches, simplify your season with Crossbar. Uniforms and team stores made easy. Visit crossbarathletics.com.
Coverage of the Bahamas Bowl is presented by Bezroy Roofing and Siding, the official home remodeling partner of UB Athletics. Family owned and operated by UB alumni and former student athletes, offering roofing, siding, windows, deck, and doors. Visit them at bezroyroofing.com. That's BESROI roofing.com.